first half to second half? And more pleased with the effort? What was the difference?
I thought our ball movement got better in the second half. We were trying to dribble it too much. You know, when they're playing pack line, which we're going to end up playing against at some point in time, you need to learn to pass the ball. And I thought our passing got, or at least our attempts to pass it got better as the game went along.
We just talked to Sean about, you know, he started there for a couple days at Bellarmine. So the anxiousness for him just to sort of play against the team he sort of played for. What have you thought of his performance today?
I thought he was good. He didn't. I didn't think he really forced many things. Took pretty good shots. Obviously made them. Defensively, he was better. And that's what we're trying to do. We're continue to try to get better.
Are you?
Recruited anyone and had them leave within 48 hours?
If I what?
Have you ever recruited anyone and had them leave in 48 hours?
Yeah, I think at Walsh, I think I did. Yeah,
On their own, or did you ask them to leave?
well, it's a long story. My first year there, we weren't very good, and we had guys leaving and quitting and all, and so I figured the next year I'd try to recruit everybody I could recruit. I had about 50 guys there. And by the time I got done talking to them, I had about 20 there. The rest of them figured out this wasn't for them. And we hadn't even done anything yet. The admissions people were very happy. Extremely happy.
No scholarship limits back then?
No, we didn't. I wasn't giving them scholarships.
What was the value of getting some of the younger guys in late, even though some of the possessions and the combinations were a little bit disjointed?
Honestly, I didn't see much value in it at all. I think they have to understand that you know, in this program you earn playing time, you earn positions, you're not handed them. And I thought, and we had some guys who I thought were really getting better in practice, I mean, significantly better as practice went along, and then their performance was, to say disappointing, was probably not strong enough. You get an opportunity, you want to make the most of your opportunity. And we certainly didn't do that. I mean, we're up 29. We end up winning by 19, right? No, that's not right. I think they were minus 19. So it's like I said to them, now how do I put you guys in the game again? You know, if you're going to lose by 19, why would I put you in the game?
You mentioned improvement. Over these 7 games, whatever, have you seen improvement?
I think we're getting a little better defensively. You know, offensively, we probably still rely on Taz too much. I mean, I'm all for him getting, you know, 25 to 30 a game. I'm all for it, but we need some other guys to step up and score a little bit for us as well, a little bit more. And I think we're starting to get that, but we've got to continue to get better at that. I think defensively we're getting better. That's hard stuff to guard.
Coach, I'm wondering, 7 games in, your point guards with Keedy and Malik. Do you, I mean, Keedy goes out there and gives you defensive pressure on the ball. Malik gets in there, he can drive and kind of give you some different things. Do you kind of almost expect different things from them, even though they play the same position?
Well, I think if you want to play, Justin, you do what you're good at doing. I mean, you know, when I played here, I wanted to shoot it a lot, but Tony did that, you know, so I had to pass it because I wanted to play. And I, you know, I think with Taz and Sean, we've got to probably get them open more, do a better job of getting them open, but we've got to deliver the ball better. We've got to deliver the ball more timely than what we've been doing, and that's those two guys' jobs. And you know, I think Malik is when he comes in, we probably do expect him to score more. Where Keedy comes in, we really rely on him to really put a lot of pressure on the ball.
Can that be a struggle, or in some cases maybe just a flip of the coin as to which guy you're playing at what time? I mean, I know there's obviously certain points in the game where you need a defensive stop or whatever, but which guy is going to be in there, figuring out what you need at that moment?
No, I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, it's not that Keedy can't score, and it's not that Malik can't defend. They both can do both things. It's just, I think it's you know, when you sit there on the bench, if you're doing really what you're supposed to do, you're sitting there like if Malik's sitting there while Keedy's in the game, he's looking at how can I create offensively? How can I create for myself? How can I create for my teammates? Where Keedy's sitting there probably looking at how can I affect the game defensively? And you know, I think the great thing is both of them are seemingly anyway very happy with their roles.
Paul, he gives you 10 minutes and a few buckets and a couple of rebounds, but you know, from the outside in, it looks like he's a guy that comes off the bench and gets everybody excited, whether it's his teammates or his crowd.
He's getting better and better. I mean, I really don't care about how excited he gets. I want him to rebound the ball and block shots, and he's getting better and better and better at it. You know, we got all out of whack with the pressure, and not just him, but our bigs in general did a really poor job in the back of the press, which we've got to fix.
Going along with 7 games in being two big guys, Paul and BC, are you convinced that they can make that step from where they were to the Big 12 and, you know, play the kind of basketball you need?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think one of them is physical enough, and the other one's long enough to be able to change shots and block shots. And then, you know, Isaiah is a guy who can come in and can make shots. I mean, he didn't today, but he's a very capable shot maker. So we've got kind of the three-headed monster that all of them can do something very productive. And I think they can do that in the Big 12, absolutely.
Coach, on Isaiah, with the injury last year, he never really got to go through that high school to D1 transitioning, getting used to the speed, that kind of stuff. So is he kind of going through that now? And, you know,
Yeah, he is.
what he's doing now, I mean, like, I'm guessing, you know, February, March, I mean, what do you...
Well, I mean, quite frankly, he hasn't rebounded a ball. But that's because exactly what you're saying. He's used to just being able to stand there and reach over top of people or, you know, rebound the ball without being very sound fundamentally and keeping people on his back, you know, getting too far underneath or probably, I guess better said, too close to the rim, and then having a guy on his back to where he can't you can't reach back to get the ball. You know, the good thing is, guys, they're good guys, and they really are. They're good guys, and they mean well. They don't obviously know what they're doing yet. We were all, as a staff, we were all really excited about Cindy's improvement. As in practice, he was really coming along. But you know, as soon as you turn the lights on, man, a lot of guys, they change, and you can't blame them. That's the first time really he's been in a game for any length of time. But we got to get him better, and that's, you know, that's on us, because he's willing. We got to get him better. But you can't put those guys in there and have them go down 19. That's not doing anybody any good.
Off your bench, you have 4 or 5 that you're using pretty regularly. You could, I mean, you're not going to add 4 or 5 more, but you have 4 or 5 other people who could give you some more help.
Well, it depends on what we want and what we need, Mike. Well, it kind of depends. I mean, they're playing pack line. They were playing pack line. We need guys going to pass the ball and cut and move them, and maybe when people are playing something else, if they're playing zone, then we're going to need something different. But it's nice to have guys that you can put in it. The best thing is have guys like Taz you could play. Doesn't matter, you know. He could play against anything they throw out there.
Does that handful of players down there have that sort of potential in your eyes to answer some questions for you, but one opponent to the next?
Didn't look like it today, did it? That's on them. I think they understand now that you know, I didn't put them out there to lose by 19.
Anything else? I don't know if we're gonna have interviews or anything before Saturday, but obviously you got Darius Bradford coming up Saturday. I mean, he gets hired in April. Does he call you to set this up? Do you call him? How does that all come together?
I think him and Josh talked. Josh does all the scheduling. I mean, Josh does all the scheduling and then runs it by me. And I mean, I very rarely change anything, but I mean, he runs it by me. But Josh does all the work.
Darius knows not to call you then, or what?
No, it's not that. I mean, we're playing Darius, we're playing Andy Kennedy, you know,
Yeah.
and AK called me and said, you know, hey, you could really help me to get this thing off and running if you would come down and play, and you know, obviously we'll come back. I don't know what Josh and D Nice's conversation was, but I mean, we talk all the time. You know, it's not like you don't talk. We're on the road, and probably not as much this summer because of all the craziness and stuff going on. But generally speaking, I mean, you sit and watch games and talk to people.
You had Darius just for the 1 year. Did you see a future coach in him during that 1 year?
I said on the radio, we scrimmaged Virginia. It was the first time that we had played against anybody different. First time I had seen them play against somebody different in person. And Darius was the point guard, and then, you know, I wanted to see what Joe could do, so I put Joe in Missoula, and Joe threw it everywhere and kicked it and did virtually everything bad you can do. And he came over. I'm sitting on the bench. He came over. He said, "Take me out. I suck." I said, "I know you suck. That's why I'm not going to take you out." So Darius is sitting there, you know, laughing. So I'm like, you know, you think it's funny, you know, you're next. So, but he was great to coach. But I mean, so was Deshaun. So was KJ. You know, I mean, we were blessed. Wellington Smith was wonderful to coach. So.